Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Follow what I'm doing. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Jaya Sita Ram, Jaya Lakshmana Hanuman, Jaya Sita Ram, Jaya Lakshmana Hanuman, Sita Ram, Jaya Lakshmana Hanuman, Jaya Jaya Sita Ram, Jaya Lakshmana Hanuman, Jaya Sita Ram, Jaya Lakshmana. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Ragupati Raghavam Dharam Jaya Patita Pavana Sita Ram Jaya Ragupati Raghavam Jaram Jaya Patita Pavana Sita Ram Jaya Sita Ram, Jaya Sita Ram, Jaya Sita Ram, Jaya Lakshmana Hanuman, Jaya Sita. Jaya Sita Ram, Jaya Lakshman Hanuman, Jaya Sita Ram, 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 Jaya Sita Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Bol. अभी थोड़ा सा आरती, हाँ? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Can we help the what are we doing? Bora Arti? I mean, I think they should do Gora Arti. Anyway. Okay. You can't go wrong with our okay. Oh. Nam nam. Nam nam nam. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishaya Bhutale Premate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine
Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pashatya Dishatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Rama! Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Sita Ram, Ram 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 Ram, Sita Ram. Ram 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 Sita Ram 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 Sita Ram Sita Ram Sita Ram Sita Ram Jai Sita Ram Sitaram Jaya Sitaram Sitaram Jaya Lakshmana Hanuman Sitaram Sitaram Jaya Lakshmana Hanuman Sitaram 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 Jaya Lakshmana Hanuman Radhe Sachira Rajaram Patika Pavana Sitaram Radhe Patira Rajaram Radhe Sachira Rajaram Patika Pavana Sitaram Rajaram Pachita Pavan Sitaram 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 Jai Sitaram 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 Jai Sitaram Sitaram Jai Sitaram Sitaram Jai Sitaram 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 Jai Sitaram Sitaram Jai Sitaram Ram 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 Sitaram Jaya Sitaram Sitaram Jaya Sitaram Sitaram Jaya Sitaram Sitaram Jaya Sitaram Sitaram Jai Sitaram Sitaram Jai Sitaram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Sitaram Lakshmana Hanuman Sitaram Lakshmana Hanuman
Sita Ram Jai Lakshman Hanuman.
Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman. Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman. Jai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Jai Gaura Hari Bol. Jai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Jai Gaura Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe. Jaya Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Radhe. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol. Ayo Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parijagataraja Astatharasatasi Srimada's Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Paramahamsa Parijagataraja Astatharasatasi Srimada's Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki This Confounder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Namacharya Sri Haridas Thakur Ki Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shamakund Radha Kundgiri Govardhan Ki Shri Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Ki Shri Ram Nomi Maha Mahotsava Ki Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga.
Sharanam Prapade. Otavakara Kamala Vadenakam Arjuna Shengam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubrenga Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare.
Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone to the wonderful Ram Navami festival. This is the appearance day of Sri Ramachandra. This is one of the three most important auspicious days of the year according to the Vaishnava calendar. And we're very, very fortunate to be here today. Today's class is a very special class, Ram Leela, given by a very special guest who's visiting Naperville. Since Naperville's inception here, Krishna consciousness is inception here in Naperville. The special guest that we have today is His Holiness Ramapad Swami Maharaj. Let's give a big round of applause. His Holiness Ramapad Swami Maharaj, he's a Vaishnava sannyasi. He's been a sannyasi and been serving Srila Prabhupada since the last 50 years. He's a disciple of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Also an initiating spiritual master in our movement with thousands of disciples around the world. We are very fortunate to have him today. There's many temples, congregations, preaching programs, college preaching programs that are flowering around the world due to his inspiration. So Naperville is just one of those many, and we're so fortunate and grateful to have his association today.
Gopijana Ballabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Jamunatiravana Chadi Jamunatiravana Chadi Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hadi Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hadi Gopijana Ballabha Girivardhari Gopijana Ballabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Jamuna Tiravana Chadi Jamuna Tiravana Chadi Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hadi Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabi Hadi Jayo Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivijagataraja Astatarasatasi Simad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Shri Ram Navami Mahamahotsav Ki Lord Pimanandi. We're so used to singing Jai Radha Madhava, even on Ram Navami we're singing Jai Radha Madhava because we like Radha Madhava. There are many things, maybe too many things, so many things to speak about, and there's 40 minutes to speak them. So I'll be very careful to observe the time constraints here. I thought a nice topic to speak about was something that we spoke a little bit about yesterday, and there's more to say about the topic that we spoke about yesterday. One of the descriptions in the question and answer session that came up yesterday evening was Ramachandra is celebrated as Maryada Purushottama. We know what Purushottama means. He's the supreme person. There's Purushas and there's Purushottama. So the personality of God is Purushottama, and an adjective describing Lord Ramachandra as Purushottama is Maryada. In everything that he did, his whole life represented following Vedic rules. and regulations, setting the example and never transgressing them. So yesterday, there was a lively discussion with no conclusion, but there is a conclusion. And we're just now waiting for the document to be prepared to send you the conclusion. But wait a minute. What about Ramchandra became the king, but didn't he make a promise to Kaikeyi that he wouldn't become the king, that Bharat would become the king? And if he did make such a promise, wasn't he breaking his promise? And that's against the codes for a king. You understand the question, right? So around and around and around, and there's a lengthy document being prepared, but the short conclusion is he didn't make such a promise. The specifically the promise that he was asked to uphold, he kept, which was go to the forest for 14 years. He didn't make a promise that I'll not become the king and Bharat will become the king. He didn't make that promise. And then there's a lot more to say, but that's the short of it. He's Maryada Purushottama. He kept his word. And then there's another one that came up yesterday. Wait a minute. How could he's Maryada Purushottama? How can he send his beloved Sita, his wife, when she was pregnant, off to some other place? You know, wasn't that in violation of codes of Dharma? How could he do such a thing? So we had some short discussion, and I plan to discuss it at length, Krishna permitting. During our Memorial Day weekend, we'll be discussing lessons from Ramayana. But there's many explanations. But in short, there wasn't violation of Dharma. There were reasons behind what he did besides there wasn't violation of Dharma. Many other things to say. But so this one, I'd like to speak about Ram's slaying of Vali from behind a tree. You know that one? Those of you if anyone doesn't know, you'll find out shortly. But Vali criticized him. What kind of upholder, what kind of Maryada Purushottama are you? Hiding behind a tree and shooting an arrow and killing an enemy who's not even your enemy. What kind of upholder of Dharma are you? So we'll hear that discussion. Ram very calmly listens to him ranting, and then very calmly responds to how he was explicitly and in different ways upholding Dharma. He didn't act contrary to Dharma. It's not possible for him to do that. He wouldn't do that. So that's our topic. And one of the things to remember, we discussed this a little bit yesterday, but we'll just bring it up now. The issue of his making a pact with Sugriva had to do with Sita being kidnapped by Ravan. But the good news is, we discussed this briefly yesterday, here's some scriptural quotes. Sita was not kidnapped. Wait a minute. I read Ramayana and Sita was kidnapped. So how come you're saying Sita was not kidnapped? Because Kurma Purana, this is from Chaitanya Charitamrita referencing Kurma Purana, when Ravana came to kidnap Mother Sita and she saw him, she took shelter of the fire god Agni. The fire god covered the body of Mother Sita, and in this way she was protected from the hands of Ravana. And elsewhere, this is a detail, it's not written right from Chaitanya Charitamrita, But Sita was then taken by Agni to be placed in the care of Parvati until the time was right for her to be reunited with Ram. So Agni wasn't violating Dharma either. She was in the care of Parvati. There's a nice description where there was a Pandit who was deeply devoted to Lord Ramachandra, and he was constantly chanting Ram's name. And he fell into a state of transcendental lamentation with the mood that Sita has been kidnapped. So he was going to fast till death, because how can I eat when Sita has been kidnapped? And Raman assured him, it's not true. Sita hasn't been kidnapped. So the Brahmana, trusting this young sannyasi, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he broke his fast. Soon some of us have been fasting. We'll break our fast soon. From that place, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went far south, all the way to Rameshwara. And when he was at a temple in Rameshwara, he heard the Brahmanas reciting Kurma Purana. So he had a chance to read the Kurma Purana, in which he discovered that the form of Sita kidnapped by Ravana was not that of the real Sita, but a mere shadow representation, Chaya Sita, a shadow Sita. And when that trial by fire took place, this shadowy Sita was placed into a fire as the test of chastity. It was Maya Sita who entered the fire and the real Sita who came out of the fire. Or in other words, this is a very traumatic and dramatic experience. We're going to discuss it a little bit as we go along. But when Ram found out that Sita was missing, he saw Lakshman, and he wasn't happy at all with Lakshman. And Lakshman's looking at the ground, feeling not at all happy, but he explained why he did what he did. But Ram said, I gave you an instruction, and you shouldn't have left Sita's side. So they quickly went back to the ashram, and this is one of those paintings that there's like 6 things going on in the same painting. This is in the lower left corner, that's the golden deer. In the center, there's Ram searching inside the cottage. Over in the upper left, there's the broken chariot of Ravana. And that white dove, I think that's supposed to be Jatayu. Anyway, it's the artist's work. And searching, and experiencing transcendental emotion. Now, there's a nice teaching that you'll find when you read Srila Prabhupada's books, when he's made a summary translation or summary rendering of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by Rupa Goswami, or Nectar of Devotion in English, where it's explained very clearly that these feelings of extreme negative emotion are simply a spike or a great sharp increase in transcendental ecstasy, love and separation, enhances the love of Sita and Ram, or enhances the lover and beloved. So he is like going mad, and he's searching, and he can't find Sita. They're back at the empty cottage, and he's ready to end things. He's feeling such remorse that Sita is in difficulty. Lakshman manages to give him courage to go forward. We'll find her. She's somewhere. Let's find her. And so they go in a direction where they find Jatayu. And Jatayu, in his final breaths, describes what happened, indicates the direction that Ravana was headed, to the southerly direction from the Dandak forest. And wonderful exchanges. Because of time, I'm not going to go into the details of their wonderful exchanges. And he leaves his body. And when he leaves his body, this transcendental form rises from the body. He's going to the spiritual world. Ram, in the proper manner, just like I didn't get the chance to deal with my father's funeral, he does a formal funeral for Jatayu. And knowing now at least what happened, he heard the fight between Jatayu and Ravan, the direction he moved, so he started moving in that direction. But as life has it, there's always some difficulty, right? Even if you're Ramchandra. So he met on the way a giant demon, Kabanda. Huge guy, giant, terrible demon, no head, arms 8 miles long, and there was a big battle, but he was really strong. He grabbed one in one hand and one in the other hand, and was trying to eat them. With his sword, Ram chopped off his arm, and Lakshman chopped off his other arm, and they held him down, and they're going to burn his body. He asked, "Please perform my funeral." And as his body was being destroyed, he said his soul rose from that body, and he showed his Gandharva form and told who he was before he was Kabanda. He was a demigod that had ridiculed, don't ridicule a sage, you're in big trouble, Ashtavakra. Ashtavakra was given the name Ashtavakra because his body was bent in 8 places. So he, Daru, being a Gandharva, was very, very beautiful and, this and that. And he was proud of his beauty. And so he ridiculed Ashtavakra, who then cursed him to become this demon. And so for a long time, he's been living in the forest, waiting for his deliverance, and in between making havoc for anybody that came along. And he went back to the heavenly realm. But before going, he suggested or indicated that he would get help from Sugriva. So find Sugriva on Rishimukh mountain by Lake Pampa, and you will have a solution to your problem. So taking the Gandharva's word, he went to Lake Pampa. And when he reached Lake Pampa, sure enough, someone was there to greet him. And that someone that was there to greet him was this fantastic personality, Shabari. Now, just a little coming attractions. I've been spending a good amount of today planning and discussing with others who are going to participate in this Memorial Day weekend. We're just going to focus on Ramachandra. So it fits in with our topic this evening. And one of the topics is going to be Shabari. Nityananda Pran is going to speak about 3 virtuous ladies in Ramayana, and Shabari is one of them. So she's really easy to celebrate. The long story was she was from a family that was forest-dwelling people, and it was time for her marriage, and her father arranged for many animals to be killed for the big feast for her marriage, and she couldn't take it. She just left. And she went here and there searching for spiritual shelter, and she came across the hermitage of Sage Matanga, who recognized her sincerity and simplicity, although she wasn't maturely qualified at all, gave her shelter. And in the end, Sage Matanga was very, very old. As he was leaving his body, preparing to leave his body, she requested to go with him, to enter into the funeral pyre and give up her body with his. And he said no. That very soon the personality of Godhead, Lord Ramchandra, is going to come to this very hermitage, this ashram. You stay and prepare yourself every day, do your daily puja in preparation for meeting Lord Ramachandra. And after you've met him and served him nicely, then you can come. So she did so. That word was enough. And for who knows how long, doesn't say how long, day after day after day after day, she was preparing herself with a broom, making the pathways clean, gathering berries where she could find wild berries, making everything, having some fresh water, as if this is the day that Ramchandra may come. And then finally he came. And when he came, it was fantastic. It was a spiritual greeting from Shabari, although she had no material upbringing that led her to have such qualities because she was so devoted. She had all those qualities naturally. And being in the company of Sage Matanga, she also further developed those nice qualities. And Ram came, she received him very graciously. She fed him with all the forest fare and nice place to sit and so forth and so on. There's Lake Pampa in the background. So the wonderful exchange between the two of them. And after this exchange took place, she then gave the direction where he, Ram, and Lakshman could find Sugriva, because Lake Pampa was not far from Rishimukh mountain. That was what Kabanda had said to do. So off they went, and off she went. She ascended to the heavenly realm, just like that. And as they were approaching Rishimukh mountain, up on top, in the background, that's Rishimukh mountain, by the way, Sugriva saw these two dressed like mendicants, but carrying bows and arrows and the physique of a warrior. And he wondered, this is a trick. He jumped from one mountain to the next mountain, and he was very nervous about Vali, because Vali is a very tricky person, and he was in his combative situation with Vali. So Sugriva sent Hanuman, because Hanuman was super expert at many things, but one of them was being a minister. It's described his speech was very elegant, and everything. So he knew how to handle himself in situations like this. So he also could transform himself into different shapes. So he requested him, transform yourself into the shape of a Brahmana. So there's Hanuman descending, but as soon as he came before Ram and Lakshman, although he was disguised as a Brahmana, just by their demeanor and by the sound of their voice, his wisdom told him, these are not persons to be worried about, they're persons to be fully trusted. And so he disclosed everything before they even asked him, he disclosed everything about his identity, what he was sent to do, and what service can I do for you? I want to meet Sugriva. Oh, very good. I can take you to meet Sugriva. So immediately, that was the plan. Hanuman, this is their first meeting, so it's very important, that the Ramayana's description of their meeting is wonderful. So I'm going over it quickly because I want to get to the punchline of this discussion. In the hands of the clocks, keep moving. So he tells them, I'll take you there. They said, but how are you going to take us there? I said, no problem. I'll become really big. I'll put you on my shoulders and carry you. So leaping up the mountain and up the mountain and up the mountain, they come to where Sugriva and the other Vanaras are. And just by the words of Hanuman was so much trusted by Sugriva that Hanuman's word was enough for him. And immediately, Ram and Lakshman are received very graciously, seated on little leaf seats and cushions. And there you see Sugriva's with the crown, and there's others also who are his assistants. And you see one monkey with his left hand, he's holding out a garment. And in front of, between Ram and Sugriva, there's a fire. So the fire was there because shortly they're going to take vows of friendship. Sugriva showed that there was a cloth, wrapped in the cloth was ornaments that Sita, as she was traversing to Lanka, she saw on top of this mountain, there's some persons, so she threw her ornaments down in that cloth. And they brought out the cloth to show to Ram, because Ram had said what had happened. So they put two and two together and came up, that was Sita. And so they're showing him the ornaments. And when Ram sees the ornaments, he feels very sad because he understands these are Sita's ornaments. I have to do something to retrieve her. So there's a pledge that's made over the fire with some procedure, hands over the fire, that the pledge of friendship, that one would help the other because Sugriva was without his wife and Ram was without his wife. And so their pledge was to help one another retrieve their wives. And in the case of Vali, it meant destroying Vali. In the case of Ravana, it meant destroying Ravana. So the Vanaras kept their word after a little bit of a delay. And here's the vow of friendship. And so there was discussion back and forth after the vow of friendship. How's this going to be done? Because Vali's so strong and this and that. Ram gave some displays of his power. And there was some narration describing, like he took an arrow and shot an arrow through 7 salt trees and went to the center of the earth and came back up again and into his quiver. Pretty impressive. So you can do the job. Now, what's the strategy? So there's a discussion of how he keeps himself, and it was important to call him out of the palace so they could be as one-to-one combat. And so that's what was done. Under Ram's direction, Sugriva met Vali in a duel. And the idea was, well, Vali was fighting Sugriva, Ram would finish him. But that's not what happened. Sugriva got whooped, and he ran for his life and came back saying, you didn't do anything. You didn't keep your word. You know what happened. He said, I couldn't tell you. You look so much alike. Didn't want to shoot the wrong Vanara. But I have a very simple solution, which doesn't make any sense to me. Here's a vine that has some flowers on it. You wear this around your neck. And if you're in fighting, what's going to happen with the vine that's around your neck? But anyway, that's what was the deal. So the second time, he trusted Ram. And there you see on the left side, there's Ram hiding behind some trees. And here, they're fighting again and fighting again and fighting again. Sugriva enters battle, this time wearing a garland to distinguish himself from Vali. And there's Ram hiding behind the trees. And there's Lakshman down at the bottom. And sure enough, at the last minute, Vali they're both powerful, but Vali is getting the upper hand. So before it's too late, Ram fires an arrow and pierces the body of Vali. So when he pierces the body of Vali, He is shocked. Where'd this arrow come from? He sees behind the tree. There's Ram. And he's heard of him. And he's gasping for his life air. So I'm going to read a little bit. It's a very nice description. I'm going fast just so we get to this because it's already half an hour. And I have 45 minutes. Ram and Lakshman slowly approached the mortally wounded monkey. Vali opened his eyes and looked up at Ram, who smiled at him. The fallen monkey spoke with difficulty. You are famous for your truth and virtue, O Ram. How then have you committed such an abominable act? What was my crime that I should be punished in this way? I did not attack you. Indeed, I was engaged in fair combat with another. Why, then, have you killed me, remaining concealed at a distance? Vali accused Ram of irreligion, saying that he only posed as a virtuous person. This heinous deed surely proved him to be otherwise. Had he lost control of his mind and senses, overcome by desire and swayed by sentiment? Out of friendship for Sugriva, had he abandoned righteousness? Gasping for breath, Vali went on. I cannot understand why you have acted in this way, O Ram. What did you have to gain by killing me, a mere monkey living in the forest on wild fruits? The scriptures condemn the eating of monkey flesh or the using of their skins. There was no reason to slay me. I have done you no harm at all. Surely this act will be condemned by all holy men, and you will go to hell. Vali censured Ram at length, speaking passionately. After some time, he closed his eyes and fell back exhausted. He felt regret. Why had he not listened to Tara, his wife? Because Tara said, don't go again. Why is he coming back again? He just got whooped. And he's coming back again so quickly. That means something else is going on. There's some strength. He's with Ram. And you don't go out again. But he was too belligerent. He went. She had tendered him wise advice. By ignoring her, he had reaped the results of his impetuosity. The arrow in his chest burned like fire. Vali was shocked. How could the virtuous Ram have perpetrated such a vile deed? Ram waited for Vali to regain a little strength. When the monkey again opened his eyes, Ram said, O Vali, you clearly do not understand righteousness and religion. This entire earth belongs to the descendants of Manu, having been bequeathed to them by that great deity, that's Manu, and speaker of religious codes. Bharata now rules this world, and we, his brothers, are his servants. Thus it is our duty to roam the earth, promoting virtue and punishing the wicked. You, O proud monkey, are indeed wicked. Ram then explained to Vali the rules of morality. The younger brother should be regarded as one's own son, and his wife as one's daughter-in-law. Vali had therefore been guilty of a great sin in punishing the sinless Sugriva and cohabiting with Rama, Sugriva's wife. The scriptures prescribe death as the punishment for one who has illicit sexual relations with his own daughter or a wife of his younger brother. There was no doubt that Rama's punishing him was just. Ram continued to address the pain-stricken Vali. You are now freed from sinful reaction, which would have sent you to hell. A person punished by the king is released from all sins and ascends to heaven. But if the king fails to punish a sinner, then he himself incurs the sin. O Vali, you should not grieve, for you have been fortunate to receive the proper punishment, making you eligible for the higher planets after death, nor did I act wrongly by remaining concealed. Since you are a monkey, this was the appropriate way to kill you. Just as when hunting, the king shoots arrows at animals while hidden from view, so I shot you. Vali could not argue. He had always felt remorseful for the way he had treated Sugriva, but had denied those feelings, remaining fiercely antagonistic toward his brother. Now he had finally received the result. All creatures have to accept the fruits of their own acts alone. No suffering or happiness came other than as a result of one's former acts. Understanding this, Vali accepted Ram's words as true and gave up his anger and grief. With difficulty he replied, "How can a dwarf argue with a giant? O Ram, you are the best knower of religious principles. I am justly punished. Please forgive my harsh words spoken earlier out of sorrow and confusion. I have certainly strayed from the path of virtue." Vali feared that after his death, his brother Sugriva would be antagonistic to his son Angada. He begged Ram to establish a friendship between the two monkeys. Ram assured Vali that Sugriva would rule the Vanaras with righteousness, treating Angada like a younger brother. Vali lost consciousness. His life all but ended, and into the scene comes Tara and the whole exchange with Tara's grief, and with many strong emotions. Here's Vali gesturing to Ram and Lakshman, and there's of course Sugriva behind them. So it's not possible for the Maryada Purushottama to violate religious principles. Now, how to understand religious principles, we know it's not easy to understand. Many of you know that wonderful passage from Mahabharata where the Yaksha comes out of the lake and asks Yudhishthira questions before he can drink water from the lake. And one of the questions was this one. The principles of Dharma are very complex. Sometimes it looks that this is to be done, but that's in conflict with that's also to be done. And they're in conflict, you do this, you can't do that. And so how do you decide? And the answer Yudhishthira gives, you know very well. Yes, it's true. It's very difficult. The principles of Dharma are very complex. And therefore, what's the answer? Mahajano yena katasa panta. You should follow the path of the Mahajans. So you need to know who's the Mahajan. And then how to understand their example set by the Mahajan. But Ram is such a Mahajan. Now it's not easy to understand when he would do some things sometimes. Fortunately, Valmiki makes it clear, some of them, and the Acharyas, they further make it clear from the writings of Valmiki and other forms of Ramayana. So we can have a clear sense of the path. These two things are needed. I'm going to end with this because the clock is telling me it's time to end. Two things are needed to qualify us for the mercy. In spiritual life, two things are needed. We need effort and we need mercy. But to get the mercy, you have to be qualified. I mean, Krishna is ready to give mercy, just like the sun is ready to give light. But if you're hiding under a rock, you're not going to get the light of the sun. It's not the fault of the sun. If you're hiding under a rock, you don't get the light. It's from the sun. So similarly, for spiritual progress, we need mercy. And we need to be eager to receive the mercy and qualify ourselves to receive that mercy. And so two things. That which makes the heart pure and that which gives direction to our life. And our primary means there's additional means, but the primary means is Shravanam Kirtanam, starting with, of course, the chanting of the holy name, just like all of you were doing during Arti. Of course, there's the deity, but the center, the starting point, even before there's a deity, before there's going to be a new temple, there's the holy name. And that holy name is Chaita Darpana Marjanam. That's our primary means for cleansing the heart. Supposing you have a heart that's clean, but you don't know whether to turn left or right. Supposing you think turning left is the way to go when right is the way to go. Then you can make a mess. Or be bewildered or something. So supposing you know whether to go left or right, but your heart isn't pure. That happens. Vali knew, but Vali was doing bad things. Ravana knew, but Ravana was doing bad things. And there are lots of people that know what to do, but they don't do the right thing because their heart's not pure. So make the heart pure and combine that with proper example and teachings, both achar and prachar, of what the path to pleasing the personality of Godhead is. The path of Dharma is to be followed, but ultimately the path of Dharma is meant for pleasing the personality of Godhead. So these two things, chant Hare Krishna and read Ramayana. And read Ramayana and discuss Ramayana in the company of other who are lovers of the Supreme, because there may be some confusions about this or that. Should it be this or that? So we have the association of devotees to help us discern this from that. But we always look to the acharyas who are giving the definitive answers about this or that. How do we understand? And we follow them. And if you follow such qualified persons, if you're fortunate enough, out of all the different, we were discussing it this morning, class, so many complexities and so many different ideas, and there's a lot of stuff out there. How do you select the right thing out of the so many options that are out there? So if you're very fortunate, you'll come in contact with that which is through disciplic succession, and you follow it. Not blindly, but follow it thoughtfully, inquisitively, wanting to understand and keep going step by step by step. Don't become complacent. Keep going forward step by step. And step by step, you follow the right path, you get there. Krishna confirms in Bhagavad Gita. One who follows the principles enunciated in Scripture, one who acts in knowledge is sure to achieve success. Acting in knowledge. So that's what we're doing, and I'm observing Ram Navami, and the 45-minute bell is ringing. So I'm going to end and allow whoever's going to make whatever the important announcements for all of you to hear to make those announcements.
Thank you.
Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki.
Jai. His Holiness Rampada Swami Maharaj ki. Thank you all. Once again, very, very happy Ram Navami to all of you. Today, after this class, we have a program for kids' costume. So all the little kids in varieties of the dress up, they are coming. But before I call them and make it very noisy, I want to recognize some people, some of our devotees who has gone all the way to help us in the construction of new project. So my humble request to you is twofold. One, we need a lot of hands, a lot of services opportunities are there. In fact, today it requires help in kitchen. If you want to help do some cleaning, please do that. But more than that, on the day of inauguration, during 3 days, there's so much of service opportunities. So I request all of you to take a little bit, whatever you can do. Varieties of services opportunities are there. So on the front desk, you can sign up. Likewise, there are a lot of sponsorship opportunities. You can do Aarti, you can do first Aarti, you can do Mahabhisekam. There's so much opportunities on the new temple inauguration, which is happening on 20, 21st, 22nd. So we are very, very excited. We want all of you to participate. But before I go further, I really want to acknowledge one of our devotees. His name is Ajit Gandhi Prabhu. He has been ISKCON for many, many years and did varieties of services all along. But today is really a day where, in the day of celebrating Lord Ram's appearance day, somebody who really worked like Hanuman and helped us to come to where we are today. He promised to write 100,000 donation, in addition to many more donations he does. And I was hoping that he will give an installment. But all of a sudden, one day we see $100,000 check in bank. It's not an easy thing. So can you please give a big hand to Ajit Gandhi Prabhu? Can you please?
I've known Ajit Gandhi for at least several decades. And he's an amazing, steady, sincere, now on top of everything else, donor. Thank you.
No, I again, last time also he surprised me, and today also I am totally surprised. I had no idea, but as far as doing services, as Maharaj said and as he said, yeah, I have done few services here and there. So and then now that I cannot do too much physically, so I thought I'll do something else, which is financially. So I can only thank Bhagavan Krishna for creating that opportunity and the timing, and it worked out. So thank you, Maharaj. Thank you very much.
Prabhuji, we need your blessing, and at least I want this should work out for everyone. What did you do that it worked out for you? I want everybody to work out the same for them. It will work out. All right, all right, Hari Bol. So I wish and pray that it works out for all of you and help build this temple very soon. Just 18 more days to go. Just imagine the same festival you are doing in that wonderful temple. This will be 10 times bigger and more mesmerizing. So with that, we want to bring our kids and see how wonderful they look like. So Mohan Lila Prabhu, please come and bring your kids. Thank you. Thank you. Mohan Lila Prabhu, please. Hello? Mohan Lila Prabhu, you want to keep announcing?
Hare Krishna! Sri Ramachandra Bhagavan ki! So in a moment, we are all fortunate that we'll get the darshan of many personalities from Sri Ramayana. Are you all excited about it? But the key thing is going to be you have to recognize who they are. So do you know what is needed to recognize Krishna? When Krishna appeared, right? When Lord Ramchandra appeared and when Krishna appeared, Hare Krishna, can we get some silence, please? There's a lot of conversation going on here. I know how to keep a classroom quiet, so. So do you know what is the ingredient that is necessary to recognize Krishna? Because when Krishna or Ram came here, not everybody recognized
the personality as a supreme personality of Godhead, do you know what is required to recognize the Supreme Lord? Premanjana charita bhakti vilochalena. You have to have the ointment of love in your eyes. As these great personalities are going to enter, if you do not have the ointment of love, you'll be bored. You'll be like, when can I get prasadam? I know most of you are fasting, but the personalities are here. They're going to come and ask you who they are. So with your love, you need to recognize them. And more importantly, pay attention to the one or two dialogues that they're going to say. There is some uniqueness in each of those personalities. Okay? So, give me one moment before I light up the stage.
All right, they're coming. Mike, okay.
Yeah, you want another one? All right. You can start. Yes. No, they're coming straight. Can you please sit down? So I'll explain the sequence of the event. So there are two groups of participants here. The first group is from the Sunday school. The Sunday school, they are going to be saying some dialogues and whatnot. And then we'll have the rest of the congregation, children who dressed up as different personalities come in. So we will start out. Yes, we can start coming. Sure, yeah.
Who had the audacity to break my lord's bow? I, son of Jamdagni, have abolished all the Kshatriyas from the face of the earth 21 times, and I will do it again if you don't tell me who the culprit was. Come forward, you offender! Don't you know who I am?
Haribo!
I am a sage born with a horn on the head. I performed the Purusha Yagna and gave a sacred pot of care to Dashrata. Shrinkington is named after me. Who am I?
Haribo! Please come.
Hare Krishna, I am known to be a very powerful sage who defended. Under my guidance, Rama and Lakshmana have learned all sorts of weaponry and protected Yagna. Who am I?
Haribo!
I am the Guru of King Dashrata.
Name?
I offer advice on dharma.
No, 1 second. Restart. Come closer.
I am the Guru of King Dashrata. I offer advices on dharma to king and royal family. I assured King Dashrata to send Lord Rama and Lakshmana with sage Vishwamitra. Who am I?
Vasishtha. Haribo!
I am the wife of King Dashrata and mother of Lord Ram. This is my son, baby Ram. Favorite wife of King Dashrata and of all the kings.
Kaushalya Maharani. Haribo! Please come.
Hare Krishna. I'm the wife of King Dasharatha. I'm the mother of twin brothers. I'm very happy because my sons took the decision for following my brother's footsteps. Who am I?
Sumitra, Haribo!
Hare Krishna. I am the third wife of King Dasharath and mother of Bharat. I saved King Dasharath's life, so I got boons. With those boons, I wanted Bharat to be crowned as king and sent Rama to the forest. Who am I?
Kaikeyi, Haribo!
Hare Krishna. I am the incarnation of Anantasesha. I gave 14 years of my sleep to my brother, and my one desire is to follow the footsteps of my brother. Who am I?
Lakshman, Haribo!
Krishna, I am Lord Rama's younger brother. I carried my brother's paduka on my head. I am very angry at my mother Kaikeyi for asking me to become king. Who am I?
Bharata, Haribo!
I am the youngest of all. I have a twin brother Lakshman. Who am I?
Haribo!
Sita. This is sweet. Shriram will like this. This is also sweet. Shriram will like this one too. This is too sour. Shriram won't like this one. My Guru Matang Muni told me that Shriram will definitely come one day. Who am I?
Shabari, Haribo!
I am the eldest son of King Dasharath, the descendant of the Shvaku dynasty. I am the killer of the 10-headed demon Ravan. Who am I?
Ramachandra Bhagavan ki!
Hare Krishna. I am known for my dedication, self-sacrifice, courage, and purity. I am the daughter of Vali. My husband is the reservoir of all pleasure. Who am I?
Sita Maharani ki! Who was accompanying Sita?
Hare Krishna. I have a wife named Sunaina. I have a bow named Pinaka. I used it to choose the best husband for my daughter. Who am I?
Janaka Maharaj ki! Jai. You're speaking?
I am born out of a pitcher. I taught Rama prayers of sun god, which he recited.
born out of picture. I taught Lord Rama the prayers of sun god, which he recited before killing Ram. Who am I?
Agastya.
I'm an ordained devotee of Lord Shiva. I have 10 heads and am very powerful. I wanted to marry Sita, but I was killed again. I was killed by Rama. And who married Sita? Who am I? Good job.
Wow.
I can sleep for a long time. I'm Ravana's brother. I can eat anything and everything. I'm huge. Who am I?
Kumbhakarna. Hariyo.
I am a firm believer in doing the right thing. If you give me a boon, I will ask to worship Lord Rama. And who am I?
Vibhishan. Haribo.
Lord Rama resides in my heart. I am the eternal servant of Lord Ram. I crossed the ocean to find Mata Sita and burn Lanka. Who am I? Sri Ram, Jai Sri Ram, Jai Sri Ram.
Haribo. Hanuman ji ki.
I guess my character.
Let us give a hint. Who are you? Who are you?
I am.
He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sri Ramchandra Bhagavan ki. Haribo. You all got his blessings too. Haribo. Please come. Do you have other children from the audience? Shriram. Yeah.
Sri Rama Rameti Rame 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 Rama Totaryam Rama Rama Vara Jai Sri Ram.
Jai Sri Ram. Do we have any more audience from the audience? Oh, we have a little girl here. Who are you? Please come here. Come this way. So that is a secret associate of Sri Lord Ramchandra. Do we have anyone from the audience? All right. We would like to request. We will have the whole personalities from the pastime of Lord Ram assemble here. First, we start with Sita, Ram, Lakshman, Hanuman. Please go. Go. Come. Everybody come here. Stand here. Stand. Come. So you can help sing the bhajan all together. Shri Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Sri Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Sri Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram. पतित पावन सीताराम, रघुपति राघव राजा राम, पतित पावन सीताराम। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे. Let us give a big Hari Bol to this wonderful personalities. Hari Bol. Now we'll proceed to the Srila Prabhupada ki. Now we will proceed to the next part of the program. Kids, you can exit. That's it. Okay, now we can all take the darshan of the Supreme Lord and then go and honor the prasadam. Okay, Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Please take the darshan and we can go for prasadam. Hare Krishna. At the same time, if you are willing to have some service in kitchen, we need help for cleaning. Please come forward. Please help for any cleaning service that you can offer. On the front desk, we are taking up sign up for various sponsorship. Please don't miss out. We look forward to all of you to sign up for temple inauguration. So I humbly request everyone, please talk to front desk and try to sign up for various sponsorship. Hare Krishna.